Hi, everyone. So I've had a few requests, some tutorials on Zoom, specifically breakout rooms. Now, first off, as all of us have experienced at this point, Zoom is definitely not made for educators. In fact, I just found a company out there that's they're not even into beta testing yet, but they're doing a different version of Zoom that is specifically made for teaching for educators. But I just want to preface with this with I've encountered a lot of problems, as I'm sure you have, but still, the breakout rooms can be useful. So I wanted to put this together, but just realize going into it, there are issues that come up, which I'll try to describe. So, how do you set up breakout rooms in Zoom? Now, unfortunately, I'm going to start Zoom up here. The issue with me demonstrating is I don't have a class to set up with. So, I can't really demonstrate everything here, but here's my Zoom window, and I can't use my video either because I'm using it to on my picture-in-picture here, but I'll kind of set it to the side here. So let's say you're in a Zoom session. I'm going to start from what I consider to be the easiest way to the more complex ways. So let's say your Zoom session's up and running, your kids are in the room, you have all your participants. So option one is this: you just need some Zoom rooms. You just need to breakout rooms. So on the control panel down at the bottom, and when it's shorter like this, it's minimized down here. But if I had this full screen, you would see the breakout room control. It's usually these four little squares that pop up. So I can't even. This is again why I don't like Zoom a lot of times. I can't even stretch this big enough for you. There it is. So there's the breakout room icon. But as you can see, I've got this thing even wider than my screen. So if that happens, if you've got Windows on Windows and you've got things minimized, it'll be here under More. Okay, you click on that. So I think the easiest way is to do this. If it's set to automatically create rooms, what you do is you just create the number of rooms. Now, again, I don't have any participants, but let's just for argument's sake, let's say I had 25 people in the room. Well, what would happen is this: if I set it to 5 rooms, 25 people, underneath I'd get a little message saying 5 people assigned to each room. It just splits people up automatically. If I go less than that, you would probably see here like 5 or 6 people per room. And so based on the number of participants you have and the number of rooms you split up, it just randomly splits them up as evenly as possible. And then you create rooms, you're good to go. Okay. And so in this case, it created my rooms there, and I'm good. Now, let's say though, so let me close this. I'm going to recreate. So let's say you've already created rooms. What you can do is down here, bottom left, you hit recreate. You can change how you do this. Let's say I want to create them manually. So let's say I want 6 rooms. And then what I would do is when I click on assign, what would normally appear here is a list of my participants. So I can say, okay, I want this person, check, this person, check, this person, check, assign to breakout room 1. And then I go to breakout room 2, assign these people, and so forth. So that one, it takes a little more effort. You have to do it person by person, but then you can put students together in particular rooms. It's just a matter of setting the number of rooms and then, like I said here, selecting manually as opposed to automatically. Now, another way to do this is a lot more complicated, and you don't even do it in Zoom. So I'm going to close this session out for now. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to go to the Zoom website rather than the app. And what I think I'll do is I'm going to use that same meeting and just my personal meeting room and use that as my example. So what you can do is this. You can actually set this up ahead of time, because if you're like me and you're using the fact that only stu.sandy.net users can log in, you already have their login information. So what I'm using is, if you go to here and you edit this meeting, somewhere down towards the middle, there should be meeting options. And what I'm going to use is right here. It's actually more towards the bottom. Breakout rooms pre-assign. Normally this is clicked off. People don't use it. So I clicked it on, and it gives you this option to edit. Okay, this would say something else, but I've already set up the rooms. Now, there's some work that happened prior to this. What I did was completely on a different day. I created an Excel spreadsheet. And all I did was just 2 columns. And in fact, you can actually download the template for this. If you click Edit and I click Import from CSV, CSV stands for comma separated values. Up here at the top, it says click here to download the template. And so you can quickly download that. And here's what it looks like. It's just basically a spreadsheet, and it's got some just fake ones in here. Pre-assigned room name, email address for the headers. And then you can see here room 1 or room 2 or room 3, and then just email addresses. So that's where I got the template for this. Pre-assigned room names, which I changed. I purposely did this so you guys could see that it did actually upload, because again, I have no participants, and so you won't see my participants in the breakout rooms, but you will see the name of the room change. So I've got math room 1 and math room 2. And then I've got all my students from that class. I basically downloaded these off PowerSchool, put them on my spreadsheet, and then one by one put them exactly the way I want them. Now, when I save this file, I did a save as, because this needs to be what's called a CSV file. So when you get to here and it says save type as, change it from an Excel spreadsheet to this one, CSV, comma delimited. It means that instead of as a spreadsheet of boxes, each of the entries is separated by a comma, and that's what Zoom is expecting. Then you save that. Now, I'm going to close this out because I've already actually saved it. So now let's go back. So again, back to the Zoom website, down here, breakout rooms pre-assigned, check. Edit. Then import from CSV. Again, you wouldn't see this stuff because I did it ahead of time, but let's try it out. Import from CSV. Browse to choose file. I'm keeping this one on my desktop. It's right here. So I'll select that, and there it is. Okay, you can see the name of the room has changed to what I'd put, math room 1, math room 2, and I've got all the students that I had pre-selected in those rooms. Okay, now, it's at this point, too, you can change things. If you wanted to move this student to the other rooms, or if you want to just get them off the list, here you can modify things before you save them. Okay, but now I'm ready to go. Now, this is now saved to Zoom, so I never have to do this again. If I want to make small edits, my recommendation would be just edit in Zoom. Bring this window back up, change your participants, and then save it. Okay, if you want to just completely redo everything and do it from scratch, then what I would do is upload a new CSV file. Now, don't forget to do this, because I forgot a few times. I had it like this. I clicked this, I clicked save, and I thought I was good. I forgot to scroll to the bottom and save the meeting. You have to do that too, otherwise it doesn't take. All right, so now I just did that to my personal meeting room. So let's start that Zoom session up. And again, it's not going to look quite right because I don't actually have my participants. They're listed, but until they actually show up in the room, they're not going to show up in the breakout rooms. So if I click breakout rooms, you can see here the change took effect. The titles have changed. Now, as people pop in, they should automatically get assigned to each list, whether I'm starting rooms or not. This will just start to populate as your students enter the room. Okay, and so that's how to do it ahead of time, to have your groups ready to go, and you can just go, boom, open all rooms. Okay, and you can go back here. Let's say you don't want to use the pre-assigned rooms today, then what you do is just recreate all rooms and do it like we were talking about before. And at some point, if you want to go back, you do recreate and recover to pre-assigned rooms. Okay, so you have the option to keep one set of pre-assigned rooms ready to go, but you can also still use the recreate all rooms option if you want to just mix things up and change things around. Okay, I hope this helps. And as always, if you have any questions on how to do this, please let me know.